What's up, YouTube? Today's review is going next level. I know these kicks have been out for a while, but I finally got my hands on a couple pairs and I can't wait to show you how crazy they are. I will quickly unbox these, show you what's inside, show you how to set them up, then we'll get to the features and the fun stuff. So let's go. This might be a longer video because I have a lot to cover with these, but I'll try my best to move quickly through the boring stuff. For starters, ever since I was a kid and saw Back to the Future 2 when Marty McFly put on those air mags and they laced up automatically, I nearly lost my mind. I remember every kid in school talking about rumors that they were actually going to release the shoe. Turns out the rumors were true, but it took Nike 22 years. And when they finally did drop, they were impossible to score, and frankly, they were ugly and very impractical. They were more memorabilia than they were kicks. Now, here we are 31 years later and we have these, and in some ways they're better than I imagined. So as I mentioned, it started with the Air Mag, then it went to the Adapt. Following that came the Adapt BB 2.0, a performance sneaker designed for basketball and actually used by NBA players. Now we have the Adapt Auto Max, which is strictly a lifestyle sneaker. Nike's decision to focus their Adapt tech on a lifestyle sneaker makes a lot of sense to me from a marketing perspective. Nike is charging anywhere from $350 to $720 for these sneakers, so clearly they're not for everyone. The majority of people who play ball or run are most likely going to choose something more lightweight, less bulky, and way less expensive. It's a very hard sell in these markets, but if you pivot to a lifestyle market, they don't care about the encore performance of the shoe or if it shaved a few seconds off their run. All they care about is the look, the fit, and the comfort. That's a much easier sell and a far better way to bring this tech to the masses. It makes sense. So when Nike decided to make this move, they had to pick a sneaker to model this new silhouette after, and what better reference than an Air Max 90. Just look at this thing. It literally looks like an Air Mag and an Air Max 90 got together and had a baby. From the materials used to the shape, it looks like the two sneakers morphed together, and in my opinion, it's the best looking Adapt to date. It's super chunky, has a crazy large hard plastic TPU heel, a React midsole, a large air unit, and a streamlined look. It's got an interesting style, it's a conversation piece, and it feels pretty good on foot. Way back in the 1980s, when Tinker Hatfield and the Nike team were conceptualizing their e.a.r.l technology, which stands for Electro Adaptive Reactive Lacing, they put a lot of thought into it. They were actually trying to use science and technology to enhance an athlete's performance, but unfortunately they were way ahead of their time and the tech just wasn't there yet. One quick example to support their reasoning is a typical NBA game will last approximately 2.5 hours, and NBA players typically lace up their kicks really tight for those games to add the needed support when playing, but this also cuts off their blood circulation and over extended periods of time can actually hurt a player's performance. Now imagine you had a sneaker that could automatically loosen to increase blood flow in your feet and legs when you're sitting on the bench or when you're shooting a free throw, then immediately tighten up to your optimal fit when needed. That small factor could absolutely make a difference between a win and a loss, and I like the way they were thinking. But they weren't the only ones at that time thinking this way. For me, growing up, the closest thing we had to anything like this was the Reebok Pump. The pump gave the ability to somewhat tighten your sneakers by pressing on a basketball-shaped pump installed on the tongue. When pressed multiple times, it would fill small airbags in the sneaker, making it a more snug fit. When you released the air, it made the sneaker more loose. This simple but innovative technology was very forward-thinking at the time and a marketing goldmine for Reebok. After all these years, I still get excited when I see a pair of pumps, but now Nike has taken it to a whole new level where I can adjust my sneakers to the optimal comfort by simply using my phone or even just my voice. We'll get into more of that in a minute. Starting with the packaging, this is a very big, very heavy sneaker box and it looks expensive. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for good packaging, but at the $400 price point, I start to think, did my money go towards the packaging or the quality of these shoes? It's a large, reinforced cardboard box containing other smaller cardboard boxes, all with unique die cuts for a specific shoe. It's rear hinged with a silk pull tab with satin print, custom embossing, and foil stamping on every side. Oh, and did I mention it also comes with a little plastic Medicom toy for no reason at all? All of this costs money, and it adds to the bottom line. Nike had to pay a small army of people to design, print, assemble, and package these. Not to mention there's a ton of empty space in this box, which means it takes up more warehouse space, takes up more truck space, it's more costly to ship. So this cool looking box comes at a hefty price. I wouldn't be surprised if $50 of the price you pay goes directly into the packaging. But what's done is done, and I do appreciate the effort that went into this. When you open the box, you'll see the kicks displayed beautifully. You have the tech bits in the middle, a USB-C cord, and that little Medicom collectible I was telling you about. I'm not sure what this Nike Medicom collab is about, but I do know this is the company that makes the Bear bricks, and they have a pretty strong relationship with Nike. I guess it's kind of cool, but not really. I don't see this becoming collectible, and I'd rather they just save me the $5 and not include it. One cool thing I noticed is the head on this little guy matches the buttons on the midsole. Just an interesting little Easter egg. At the very bottom of the box, you'll find your charging pad. You place your kicks on here to charge them. Nike says it takes approximately 4 hours to fully charge. They also say the charge will last 14 to 20 days, depending on how often you lace and unlace. Time will tell, but I'm curious about the shelf life of the battery and the motor. I keep my kicks for a really long time, and I wonder, is that battery going to hold a charge after 12 years in my closet? And is this tech going to be compatible with my Apple brain implant 12 years from now? Also, if I leave my sneakers on their charging pad for an extended period of time, is it going to wear down the battery? So many questions. But my point is, I used to only worry about my kicks yellowing and creasing, but this just added a whole new level of complexity to my sneaker game, and I don't know if the general public is willing to look past all these concerns or pay $400+ to have to deal with all of that. I guess on some level, it's similar to the range anxiety electric car owners feel. I don't have all the answers, but I do know they don't appear to be selling out at Nike, and anyone willing to pay for these can pick them up pretty easily. If you do plan on copping a pair, I noticed a lot of Adapt sneakers are selling on StockX for much less than retail, so surprisingly, StockX might be the more cost-effective option when shopping these around. After charging your sneakers, the first thing you want to do is download the Adapt app and sync it with the kicks via Bluetooth. You have to do each sneaker at a time. Just turn on your Bluetooth and hold your phone close to the shoe. Once it's paired, click one of the sneaker buttons to confirm. After you do the first one, simply repeat the same process on the other side, and you should be ready to go. I recommend the app because it's great for programming and saving different fits and customizing your lights, but you can also skip this process and control them using the 2 buttons on the side. Okay, now that you're charged and synced, it's the moment of truth. You try them on. Once they're on, they will start to automatically adjust to determine your best fit. Cool feature, but I instantly noticed the little motors that pull the laces are much louder than I expected. Take a listen. You definitely want some sound to know the motors are working, but maybe not this much sound. It's a bit of a spectacle every time I adjust them. You can then use the app to play around and find your perfect fit. Swipe the L up and down to adjust the left foot, swipe the R up and down to adjust the right foot. This is a well thought out process and a cool user-friendly interface. Nike did a good job making everything fairly intuitive. You can also choose between 12 color options for the buttons on the midsole, and there's a light feature that allows you to play a little light show on your kicks. You can set these to play for a duration of 5, 30, or 60 minutes. This is really unnecessary but very cool, and I guess safer to wear them at night while walking. I personally like strobe mode, and they just added a software update that now not only allows you to choose between 12 different colors, but also 12 different preset color combinations. This is a cool effect and maybe could be used to support your favorite sports team or set the colors for specific holidays. These fit true to size and they are very comfortable. The sock-like fit and the massive air unit is a good combination. If you have a wide foot or don't want to show as much toe knuckles, I recommend going up half a size. Whatever you do, be careful with that extra chunky heel. It's hard TPU with a matte finish and it scrapes and bangs into everything from stairs to doors to chair legs. After wearing these for a little while, I could honestly say I like them. I like the look, I like the fit, and I'm very interested in wearable technology. I think the next evolution of these should be an auto-charging Adapt that has a small rotor that spins and charges the battery while you walk, eliminating the need for a charging pad and cables. Since we're making a wish list, what about tread control like the old Gore-Tex boots with the retractable spikes on the heel for walking on ice? Or maybe they install tiny microfans to improve air circulation, or an internal pump that allows you to control the air pressure in your air unit. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but I'd love to see how far they could take it. When I say these ideas, I realize they all seem ridiculous, but when you think about it, humans are innovators by nature, and tech is embedded into almost everything in our lives, from refrigerators to light bulbs. So why wouldn't we add a little bit of that innovation into our footwear? In conclusion, I'm aware that these are somewhat of a novelty piece with not a lot of practicality. They're certainly not a hype sneaker or even a cool sneaker. Some would say they're just whack, but ironically, all of those reasons are what makes me like them more. I would classify these as interesting, and the type of people who buy these are people who geek out over new tech, or maybe a few rich old people with arthritis or back pain that can't bend bend down and tie their shoes. Other than that, I think for the everyday consumer, these will be largely ignored and prices for them will continue to drop. Put short, these are an expensive answer to a question only a few people asked, but I'm glad they made them. They're different and they're fun. If you're into tech and kicks, these might be right for you. Just don't step in any puddles because they're not waterproof. I'll put a link to where you can get these and other Adapt sneakers in the description below. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. I could adjust my kicks using Siri. Hey Siri, release my shoes. Yeah, that's the thing. Looks like we finally found a use for Siri. That's my video. I'll show you a few more shots on foot, but before I do, I ask that you please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, you could always follow me on Instagram at E21Life for other sneaker stuff and randomness. Let me know in the comments what you think of Adapt Tech and your favorite pair of Adapt sneakers or any other innovative sneakers are. I'd be interested to know. As always, stay safe, everybody, and thanks for watching. Peace.